Step 1 to achieving the perfect controller aim is your horizontal sensitivity. This is the most important factor of your aim because most of your gunfights are going to be based off of where somebody is, left or right. There's not much I can tell you about your horizontal sensitivity apart from that you can run any horizontal sensitivity. Just pick horizontal sensitivity, and for step 2, we're going to focus on your ADS sensitivity. Your ADS sensitivity is super important because this is going to be how you shoot your gun and how you aim at your enemies. Dialing in this sensitivity is really important, and I'll show you how to do it in 2 easy steps. The main issue I see with a lot of people is they either track really well or they flick really well, but they can never do both at the same time. I'm going to show you a method that you can do both at the same time. In my previous videos that I've made on this, you had to use a little bit of math, but I've made it super easy. I am going to link a spreadsheet down below, and all you have to do is type in numbers. You don't have to do any math. You don't have to do anything hard. It will automatically find the perfect values for you. What I want you to do is I want you to go to the shooting range. I want you to go to the third aisle, and I want you to put on these settings right here. Using these settings, I want you to track the ball. Instead of tracking the ball, what I would like for you to do is to just move your stick to the position where you think the ball should get tracked. Now, this is kind of confusing, but basically I want you to move your sensitivity instead of moving your thumb. For instance, if you're moving your thumb this much, you want to up your sensitivity to increase your crosshair speed to match up with the ball. And if you're moving it this much, you want to decrease your sensitivity to match it up. You don't want to move your thumb because you want to build natural muscle memory. And the easiest way to build natural muscle memory is to build off of what you already have. Once you've done this and you found a sensitivity that you really like, I want you to enter this into the spreadsheet under tracking sensitivity. Now, once we've done that, I want you to open up the shooting gallery settings and put in these settings right here. Now, completely ignore whatever ADS sensitivity you have, and I want you to raise your sensitivity so it's really easy for you to flick between the dots and it feels really natural. Now, at this point, you don't need to be accurate. You just need to have the kind of basic motion down. So if you're over flicking or under flicking, don't worry about being super accurate. This isn't about being accurate. This is just about getting down what a good baseline flicking sensitivity is for you. Once you have your flicking sensitivity as well, enter that number into the spreadsheet under flicking sensitivity. Now that you have that, I want you to go back into your ADS and set your ADS sensitivity to your tracking sensitivity. All right. So this is now step 3. We have your ADS sensitivity and we have your horizontal sensitivity. You might be asking, why did we find that second ADS sensitivity? Now this is going to be step 3. You're going to then scroll down to your advanced settings. And I know this is kind of confusing for a lot of people, but I'm going to make it super simple for you. I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to run. Very basically, if you want a more in-depth guide, I can kind of explain it more. But basically, the way Siege works is you already have an insane amount of aim acceleration. All we're doing is we're going to increase the aim acceleration to your perfect flicking speed. Now, this might seem confusing for you guys if you've played other video games and you've looked into it, but basically you are forced to have aim acceleration. It doesn't give you any chance to turn it off if you're playing on the classic curve. Point of using the advanced settings is just to be able to control that classic curve better. So what we want to do is we want to set all of the advanced settings to 0. Now, for these 2 settings right here, the ADS horizontal and the ADS vertical acceleration percents, you're going to input the number that I gave you on the spreadsheet. 2 highlighted numbers on the spreadsheets, but basically this will make your sensitivity so that when you try to flick, you're going to flick at the speed, but when you try to track somebody, you're going to track at the speed. It's a 2-step sensitivity. And I know a lot of people don't mess with advanced settings. And the main reason is that they're confusing. But if you give this method a shot, I promise you, your aim will look better. This is what I personally use, and I do recommend it to a lot of people. Everybody asks me how I play on a slower sensitivity, but my flicks still look really nice and concise. And this is how I do it. You're able to increase your flick speed while maintaining your tracking speed. Then I also get the question, why doesn't somebody like Dampening use it or Mingo use it? Well, their muscle memory is just naturally inclined to Siege. Everybody's muscle memory is different. It's like if you're playing basketball, everybody has a different shot form. Just because something works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And if you're not on the level of Mingo or Stompin', why not give this a shot and why not try this out? Maybe this is better for you. All right. But enough of that. I'm going to get into step 4, vertical sensitivity. I see a lot of people struggling to control vertical sensitivity because they don't know how to find it. I'm going to be giving you the 1-step process to find it. This is the easiest way. This is the only way you should ever find your vertical sensitivity. You want to choose the operator in the shooting range that you're going to use in round 9, OT match point, your go-to gun. Attack, defense, it doesn't matter. Just choose your go-to gun. I want you to go to this lane, the first lane of the shooting range, and mag dump an entire clip into the target. Now, I want you to try to control it with your eyes closed. I've explained this in a previous video and people have told me, hey, it's hard. That's the point. It's not easy. It's not supposed to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would have perfect aim. But you want to basically raise and lower your sensitivity until you kind of dial in, lock in, get something really, really nice. If your vertical sensitivity looks like this, your vertical sensitivity is probably too slow. And if it looks like this, it's probably too fast. Now, if you're really struggling with this, you can try to play around your dead zones. Raising your dead zones makes it easier to control recoil. If there's cases where it's going up and down, it's probably a dead zone issue. What I mean by that is you're probably trying to control your recoil, but your dead zone might be too low or too high, and you're overcompensating and undercompensating as a result. There's no way for me to know if you should raise or lower your dead zone. You kind of have to do that on your own, but I don't recommend a dead zone that's too high. Like anything above 10, I think is too high for your right stick, and anything below like 4 is probably too low for your right stick. And I say 4 because anything under that, you have to be super precise. I used to play 0 dead zones, like raw input, but it's very difficult to be that precise, that on top of your stuff, especially with no aim assist. You have to be 100% locked in all the time, which is just not very doable in Siege. And so I think a dead zone of at least 4 to 5, I play on 5, is very good. Now, step 5, once you have your sensitivity, you just need to stick with it. Don't change it. Don't do all this extra kind of stuff where you're like tweaking it. Once you found it, just stick with it for, I don't know, give it at least a week. And I promise you, your aim will look better. The main reason is going to be your flicks are going to feel good and your tracking is going to feel good. You're not going to have to make a compromise between both sensitivities. The last kind of bonus step, a lot of people don't talk about this, but if you want perfect sensitivity crossover from your ACOG to your 1x, it is a 1 to 2.5 ratio. Now, I also included on that same calculator, the same Google Sheet, a way to see what your ACOG or your ADS sensitivity should be based off what the other is. So all you have to do is you have to type in either your ACOG or your 1x, and it'll show you what your other should be. Now, this is probably going to look really different to what you already have, and you don't have to run this. This is not a must. This is just kind of an optional thing. But if you want the same sensitivity, so I know a lot of people run Twitch 1x because their 1x sense is higher, so it's easier to control recoil. But if you want to run ACOG on Twitch instead of 1x, this will make the recoil feel the exact same. The tracking is the exact same. And you may ask how I know this. I know this because I have a capture card and I can just I can capture what my sensitivities look like. And in an editing program, I can overlay them and I see the speeds are exactly the same. I've tested it multiple times on multiple sensitivities. It's exactly the same sensitivity. But yeah, that is going to be it for this video. This is just going to be a very simple sense breakdown. I tried to make it engaging, easy to watch, so you know people would stick around, watch it, actually try to get better at Siege. Let me know if you enjoy this style of editing. It's a little bit more editing than I would usually do for my normal videos, but if this is something you guys would like to see or more type of content like this, please let me know, comment below. I'll try to make videos. Have a good one.